Have you ever felt, just stuck in a season of sadness, really wondering if joy is ever going to make a comeback? Well, in this explainer, we're going to walk a really powerful spiritual path together, one that leads us right out of that place. It's a journey from mourning to dancing.
Okay, let's just start with this question, because it really flips our usual way of thinking on its head. Most of the time, we're waiting for proof, right? A sign, some visible change, anything to give us permission to hope. But what if the miracle actually works the other way around? What if that first step out of the dark is just choosing to believe in a promise you can't see, at least not yet?
And look, let's be real, that is not an easy thing to do. So many of us are walking around with this deep spiritual hunger. We feel the heaviness of our past, our worries, our sorrows, what the scriptures call the former things. It's a feeling we all know, and it's actually the perfect place to start our journey today. So where do we even begin with something that big? We're going to start with a huge prophetic vision of hope from the prophet Isaiah. Let's just take a second to appreciate the incredible scale of the promise that God is making here. Did you catch the word he used? I create. He doesn't say repair or fix or patch up, and that is a huge deal. The promise isn't just about gluing a broken world back together. It's about making something completely and totally new, a complete do-over. And this is what that new creation leads to. Just think about that for a second. A reality where sorrow is so gone that the actual sound of weeping is just a forgotten memory. That is the kind of deep, profound peace and hope that's being promised here.
All right, so we have this massive, cosmic promise. But what does that mean for you and me in our own lives? Well, that's where the Psalms come in. They take this exact same idea of transformation and show us what it looks like from a really personal, really human point of view.
This comparison from the Psalms is just so beautiful and so real. It absolutely acknowledges the reality of the nightfall, that moment when weeping shows up and makes itself at home. But it doesn't stop there. It declares that the dawn is coming, and when it comes, it's bringing rejoicing with it. This isn't just a nice thought. It's a personal testimony of being rescued.
And here's the key takeaway from that. It means God isn't some distant spectator just watching us struggle. No, according to the Psalmist, God is right there in it with us. He's the one who reaches down into whatever pit we're in and pulls us out into the light.
So, we've got the big promise, and we've got the personal testimony. But how does this new life become something we can experience right now, today? The gospel gives us the answer, and it shows how this whole thing kicks off with a simple act of belief. Let's just walk through the story. It's incredible. First, you have a desperate father. He begs Jesus to heal his son, who's at death's door. Second, Jesus doesn't go with him. He just gives him a promise, a word: your son will live. Now, third, and this is everything, the man believes him. He just takes Jesus at his word with zero physical proof. And the result? The healing happened at the exact moment he chose to trust that word, long before he ever laid eyes on his healed son. In this story, it's not just a story. It's teaching us a really profound spiritual principle. It's challenging us to develop a kind of faith that doesn't need to see to believe. So, let's put a name to it.
This is what spiritual writers call interior faith. It's basically the move from a faith that's always on the outside looking for signs and wonders to a deep internal trust in Christ's word, just his word alone. It's trusting him even when, and maybe especially when, we can't see how it's all going to turn out.
This simple phrase can be an incredibly powerful prayer for us. In any moment of fear or doubt, we can just stop and say this. It's a choice. It's deciding to shift our trust away from our feelings or our circumstances and put it squarely on the truth of his word. And we have some amazing examples of this in action. Take St. Clement Mary Hofbauer. He was known for his perseverance. So often, he worked and worked without seeing any immediate results from his efforts. But he held on to this interior faith, just trusting that God was always at work, always creating something new, even when he couldn't see.
So here's the invitation for every one of us today. Just think of one area in your life that's causing you anxiety, one situation where you've been waiting for a sign, waiting for some kind of proof before you'll feel okay. The challenge is to choose, maybe just for today, to act in trust instead, to take a step forward in faith. And that brings us right back to where we started, with a choice. As we finish up, I want to leave you with this question to carry with you. What is one fear, one of those former things that you can surrender today,
simply by making the choice to say, Jesus, I believe your word. Because that one choice, that single decision, can be the very beginning of your own journey from mourning into dancing.